Okay, so let me tell you about the Planet's Cup. It's basically the biggest soccer tournament in the entire universe. Forget the World Cup. This thing is way bigger. This year, 20 different planets sent their best teams to compete. Imagine that. There were the rocky players from Planet Granite, who were super tough to get past. Then you had the speedy team from Planet Zoom, who moved so fast they were just a blur. Even the slimy team from Planet Gloop made it, which was kind of gross, but they were surprisingly good at sliding tackles. The whole tournament was a huge deal, and every planet was buzzing with excitement, hoping their team would lift the shiny silver trophy. The games were held on a giant space station called the Cosmic Coliseum. It had a zero-gravity viewing area where fans could float around and watch the action. You'd see fans from all over the galaxy. There were the tall, sparkly fans from Planet Twinkle, who waved glowing pom-poms that lit up the whole stadium. Then there were the furry fans from Planet Fluffball, who were basically giant walking teddy bears cheering at the top of their lungs. They all wore their team colors and chanted in their own languages. It was a crazy mix of sounds and lights, but everyone was there for one reason: to watch some awesome soccer. The atmosphere was electric, like a giant party in space. Getting to the final was super hard. The Earth team, called the Earthlings, had to play against some really tough opponents. They barely won against the Martians, who had 4 arms and were amazing goalkeepers. Then they had a crazy game against the team from Planet Hydro, whose players were made of water and could change their shape. It was a real struggle, but the Earthlings kept playing with all their heart. They were known for their teamwork, always passing the ball and helping each other out. Their captain, a girl named Maya, was a fantastic leader who never gave up, no matter how tough things got on the field. On the other side of the bracket was Team Eruna. The Erunians were incredible. They came from a planet with less gravity, so they could jump super high and do amazing acrobatic kicks that looked like something out of a movie. Their star player, a guy named Zorp, could kick the ball so hard it would whistle through the air. Everyone was scared of Zorp. The Erunians glided through the tournament, winning every game easily. So it was no surprise when the final match was set: Earth versus Eruna. It was the classic matchup of teamwork against raw talent, and everyone in the galaxy was dying to see who would come out on top. The day of the final match was finally here, August 4th, 2025. The Cosmic Coliseum was packed. You couldn't even find an empty spot to float. The Earth fans were all wearing blue and green, waving flags with a picture of our planet on them. They were chanting "Earth, Earth, Earth" as loud as they could. On the other side, the Erunian fans were a sea of purple and silver. They had these cool horns that made a whoosh sound every time they blew them. It was a competition in the stands as much as it was on the field. The noise was unbelievable. I bet you could hear it from the next galaxy over. When the teams walked onto the field, the crowd went wild. The Earthlings looked focused and a little nervous. They knew they were the underdogs. Maya gathered them in a huddle and gave them a pep talk. You could see them nodding, getting pumped up for the game. Then the Erunians came out, looking super confident. Zorp had a smirk on his face, like he already knew they were going to win. They were taller than the Earth players and moved with a strange grace, almost like they were dancing. The referee, a robot with 6 arms, blew its whistle, and the game began. It was time for the ultimate showdown. The match started at a crazy pace. Right away, Eruna's team showed off their skills. Zorp got the ball and weaved through 3 of Earth's defenders like they were standing still. He took a shot from way out, and the ball flew like a rocket toward the goal. But Earth's goalie, a guy named Leo, made a spectacular diving save, pushing the ball just over the crossbar. The Earth fans roared with relief and excitement. This showed the Erunians that Earth wasn't going to be a pushover. The Earthlings fought back immediately, with Maya leading a charge down the field, her feet moving like a blur. The first 10 minutes were a whirlwind of action. Eruna scored a goal with a high-flying bicycle kick that nobody saw coming. But Earth didn't let that get them down. Just a minute later, Maya dribbled the ball down the wing and crossed it perfectly to her teammate, who headed it straight into the net. The score was 1-1, and the game was just getting started. The fans from other planets, like the Fluffballs and the Twinkles, were just enjoying the show. They cheered for every good play, no matter which team made it. They were just happy to be watching such an amazing game between 2 great teams. As the game went on, it turned into an absolute goal fest. I'm not kidding. Every time Eruna scored, Earth would come right back and score one of their own. Zorp from Eruna was a scoring machine. He scored a goal by bouncing the ball off the stadium's energy shield and into the net. It was a trick shot nobody had ever seen before. The Erunian fans went absolutely nuts, their silver flags waving like a storm. But the Earthlings didn't panic. Their strength was their teamwork. They passed the ball around so well, creating openings that the Erunian defenders just couldn't cover in time, leading to easy goals. The scoreboard was lighting up like a pinball machine. It went from 10 to 10 to 20 to 20, and then 30 to 30. It was insane. The game was supposed to last for 50 minutes, and it felt like a goal was being scored every single minute. The robot referee was getting overworked, blowing its whistle and updating the score constantly. The fans were on the edge of their seats, or whatever you sit on in zero gravity. You could feel the tension in the air. Every time the ball went near one of the goals, thousands of fans from different planets would gasp all at once. It was the most exciting game anyone had ever seen. Maya from Earth was having the game of her life. She was everywhere on the field. One moment she was defending against Zorp, and the next she was at the other end of the field, scoring a brilliant goal herself. She encouraged her teammates, never letting them get discouraged by Aruna's flashy moves. Her leadership was the glue that held the Earth team together. Zorp was also unstoppable, his powerful shots breaking the sound barrier. It was a battle between two superstars, but also a battle between two completely different styles of playing the game, and neither side was willing to back down. With just a few seconds left in the 50-minute game, the score was 42-41 for Aruna. It looked like it was all over for Earth. Zorp was celebrating with his team, thinking they had won. But the Earthlings didn't give up. In the very last second, Maya got the ball one last time. She dodged two defenders and took a long shot from the halfway line. The whole stadium held its breath. The ball sailed through the air in a perfect arc, flying just over the Arunian goalie's fingertips and into the back of the net. The buzzer sounded right as the ball crossed the line. The final score was 42-42. A tie! Can you believe it? After 50 minutes of non-stop action and a mind-boggling 84 goals, the game ended in a 42-42 draw. At first, everyone was silent. Nobody knew how to react. A tie in the final of the Planets Cup? It had never happened before. The players on both teams just stood there, looking at the scoreboard in disbelief. They were all completely exhausted, having given everything they had on the field. Maya was breathing heavily, and even the super-confident Zorp looked tired but also impressed. They had both played their hearts out for their home planets. Then, something amazing happened. The fans started to cheer. Not just the Earth fans or the Arunian fans, but everyone. The Fluffballs, the Twinkles, the Gloops, and all the others. They weren't cheering for a winner. They were cheering for the game itself. They started chanting, "Best game ever! Best game ever!" The sound filled the entire cosmic coliseum. The players on the field looked at each other, and then they started to smile. Maya walked over to Zorp and shook his hand. Zorp shook it back and gave her a nod of respect. Soon, both teams were shaking hands and hugging each other. The tournament organizers decided that both teams were champions. They brought out two shiny silver trophies, one for Earth and one for Aruna. The captains, Maya and Zorp, lifted their trophies high in the air together. The crowd roared louder than ever before. Confetti in all the colors of the rainbow rained down on the field. It was a beautiful moment. It showed that sports are not just about winning or losing. It's about trying your best, respecting your opponents, and having fun. The players from Earth and Aruna had become friends, united by the incredible game they had just played. That day, the Planets Cup taught everyone a valuable lesson. It showed that even though we all come from different planets and might look very different, we can all come together and share in something exciting. The final match wasn't just a soccer game. It was a celebration of friendship and sportsmanship that reached across the entire galaxy. Everyone went home happy, talking about the amazing goals and the incredible tie. And everyone was already looking forward to the next Planets Cup, where old rivals and new friends would meet again for another chance at galactic glory.